What does the DNA of a successful cyber girl look like? Listen, it's not just about your work. Ladies, the quality of your work alone is not enough. Continue to find ways to improve yourself, to grow your knowledge. You become obsessed, absolutely obsessed with the fact that your potential is endless and you have an infinite ability to be anything and to be everything you want. I don't want us to remain in analyst roles in the next 3 years. I want us to grow. One thing that will determine whether or not you'll be able to do that is the relationships you will build. I am super excited. We're about to get some gems that are going to help us get through all of the challenges that are coming in the next 1 year, 2 years, 3 years to stay on top. Before we get to my presentation, I want us to do something fun. Pick up anything around you that you can use to mimic a mic. For me, I'm picking up my bottle of water. You can do with a pen or anything, okay? You can just do this. So you're going to repeat after me. I want to thank me for believing in me, for doing all this hard work, for graduating 70% over. I want to thank me. Okay. I wanted you to thank yourself. You made yourself proud. Oh my God. I want that to sink. You made yourself proud. It's not just about starting this program. It's just even staying on it and successfully graduating. It's a big deal. And I am so proud of each and every one of you. Super, super proud. And that's why I wanted to start this presentation with that. But don't forget, it's taking a village to make sure that you're here. You know, starting from God, your family, your mentor, your facilitators, the cyber safe team, your coaches, everyone that has held your hand throughout this journey. Please do not forget to drop them a message and say thank you. Your essays, do not forget to say a thank you to them, because it's because of them and yourself that you are able to make it to today. So please give yourselves a round of applause once again. Now, today we are going to talk about what makes a cyber girl successful. What does the DNA of a successful cyber girl look like? Now, because success is such a subjective thing, I'm going to give you the context of how we see success in CyberGirls. And you can say, yes, it's because we have invested this amount. And you knew why you joined the program, right? So our own definition of success is this: that our alumni go on to get a cybersecurity role or have a cybersecurity function in their existing role. That's one definition of success. The second definition of success is that our alumni go on to chase a computer science or a cybersecurity inclined degree, either for advanced study in a master's or for a first degree. Now, that is what success looks like for us. So if you go on after this program to get a job or have your current function fused with cybersecurity, we will count that we have been successful with Amarachi. We will count that we've been successful with Mary Cynthia. We will say we've been successful with Edith if she goes on to get a master's degree in cybersecurity or information security. We would say we have been successful. Another version of success for us is that our alumni goes on to create change in her community using cybersecurity skills. When she goes on to create change, for example, alumni has gone on to create conferences that brings together developers and information security people in Kenya. That is success for us. Our alumni goes on to create a program that makes sure that people are trained to know cyber threats within the organization. That is success for us. And we want you to report this success back to us because it's now shared. Your success is our success in this context. So always make sure that you share the successes with us because we want to celebrate you. We want to be very excited. See how I'm smiling? I wore makeup at 5 a.m. this morning to sit down here. It's a big deal that you're graduating, and it's a big deal for me as well. And I want to remind you that this is a journey. It's a marathon. It is not a sprint. It's very important that you remember that because different things are going to test whether or not you remember that in the next coming days. But then I saw this tweet and it made me wonder. Somebody tweeted this, said everyone is so hyped about entering this field called cybersecurity. But hope when the going gets tough, you are tough enough to get going. I want this to sink. The next couple of months, your biggest weapon will be resilience. Are you built to last? Are you built for the rugged roads of life? Are you built for the rugged roads of looking out for getting that role? Are you built to have the staying power that although you've not graduated from school, that you're going to stay sharpening your axe, sharpening your skills for when you get out of school so that you can get a job? Are you going to have that staying power? Girls, you will need to tell yourself this. You will need to decide this for yourself. I can't decide this for you. We have given you all the tools for resilience. We've made the kitchen super hot for you. You have stayed on, but we've had to help you stay on. Now, we will not have essays messaging you. Have you done this? Have you joined Cyber Friday? There will be no such thing. It will come from within you. And we hope we give you the tools and the habits for resilience. Okay? The next key thing is you need to stay prepared for opportunities because the job market is super competitive, right? Some people takes a lot of time. Some people have already started getting roles within the program. If you check her cyber stories that I share every Monday, some of them are within your cohort. In fact, most of them have been sharing for the past couple of weeks have been within your cohort. So that means a lot of girls are getting cybersecurity roles right now. Some of you will get in the next 2 months. Some of you won't get till 1 year time. But you need to ensure that the long wait does not have anything on you in terms of staying prepared. Because opportunities, meeting a prepared person is when you're able to get something out of your career and you're able to kickstart things. But when you go to sleep and rest on your laurels, you will get rusty. Now, the successful cyber girl keeps showing up prepared. She keeps staying ready because she knows her career is a marathon. And so she takes it upon herself to stay ready. Another thing that I want to talk about with the successful cyber girl is she has learned the tools of how to use LinkedIn. She's been to those master classes, but she didn't just attend it once when we gave the talk or I gave the talk. She went back, looked at the slides again. She looked at that presentation, watched it, and came back and kept practicing. A lot of you have had a lot of excuses why your LinkedIn looks like crap after all what you've learned. Now, let me tell you a joke outside of our community. People say that if you want to know a cyber girl, and I do this as well. If you know a cyber girl and somebody who is not a cyber girl, look at their LinkedIn. If their LinkedIn is popping, most likely they're a cyber girl. Why? Because we've given you the tools. In fact, I hear testimonials from people outside of our community who message me and tell me, oh, I found the video for your cyber girls masterclass and I learned the skills. I used the tools, I used the knowledge, and I've been able to land XYZ opportunity. But I know many cyber girls in this community that are still sleeping on LinkedIn. They are still snoozing on LinkedIn. And I'm not going to beg you. No, we've passed that stage. You want to do it for yourself, you do it for yourself. You and I have different last names, so I don't know if you realize. My name is Stavely, your name is different. I don't know any Stavely on this program. So everybody is going to bear their last name. Nobody's going to beg or cajole you. But the DNA of a successful cyber girl is that she actually leverages LinkedIn. And she quits making excuses. Now, it's important that I want to highlight here that the hardest part of using LinkedIn for results and to get the network and to get the kind of results that we believe success looks like is that sometimes you won't see results. People are going to not respond to your DMs, right? People may not even, accept your LinkedIn request. You might get to post and only 10 people see your post. The powerful thing is what I mentioned as staying power. When you keep doing this and people are not showing up, but then you keep at it. You keep at it until, something gives. Because stopping is you guaranteeing that you will never see the results that you seek. The champions that we know today kept playing. So the champions who will know tomorrow because of this CyberGirl alumni community I'm looking at right now, or the new entrance to alumni community, is that there will be champions that keep playing until they get it right. But if you stop, what will happen is you are guaranteeing that you will not see the results you wanted or you started with in the first place. Another key DNA element of a successful cyber girl is that she networks in her local cybersecurity community, both online and offline. The girls in Ghana, if you have not joined the Cybersecurity Association in Ghana, you're sleeping, and I want to wake you up. You need to join the ISAC. If you're in GRC and you took the training, you need to join ISAC in your country. You need to find the Cybersecurity Association in your country and join them, both online and offline. Very important. On LinkedIn, very important that you find them. But more importantly, I want to stress this because this is something I really stand for. In fact, I used an image of myself for that reason on this slide. It's because the DNA of a successful CyberGirl entails that she becomes a person with an insatiable desire to improve herself. I have a mantra that goes thus: good, better, best. I will never rest until my good is better and my better best. You become that person with an insatiable desire to improve yourself. Once you become that person, what happens to you is that you continue to find ways to improve yourself, to grow your knowledge. You become obsessed, absolutely obsessed with the fact that your potential is endless and you have an infinite ability to be anything and to be everything you want. That power lies in you. But that would be until you have decided for yourself that you want to become this person that has insatiable knowledge or insatiable desire for knowledge, and then you become that person. If you do not make that decision and you're waiting for somebody to prompt you, like I mentioned, you won't have your essays after today to say, have you done this? Have you done that learning? You will need to have a path for yourself. You will need to consistently show up for yourself. You need to consistently, basically challenge yourself. I say this to myself that the version of myself I saw in the mirror yesterday is the version I saw today. They're absolutely different. The version I'm going to see when I wear my makeup tomorrow is going to be different as well. Because every day I am intentionally growing my knowledge. And we've given you some habits. I will keep going back there. CyberGirls is very intentionally designed. It's giving you the tools that has helped me and a lot of other professionals you see today be successful. The habit of one cyber thing a day is something we're trying to teach you, and we're trying to nudge you towards getting a habit. There is no day that passes that I do not learn one thing in cyber. There is no day. Even on Sundays, right? Those habits are supposed to help you. Cyber Friday is not an activity. It is a habit we are teaching you. If you haven't realized it yet, you're going to see how it's shown up for you when you go in for interviews. I tell you, these are habits that we're teaching you. These are things that we wanted you to have for the long run. The next key thing about the successful CyberGirl is she knows that contributing factors are not determining factors. Now, I really want to double down on this because we all live on the African continent and there are many things that could possibly go wrong with the things that you want to do, and those are contributing factors. They are not determining factors. Now, what are determining factors? Determining factors are everything within your control from inside of you that determine whether or not you're able to show up as your best self or you're even able to show up in the first place. While contributing factors are things outside of your control, outside of you, that decides whether or not you can show up. Let me give you an example. You want to go for an interview, but there's load shedding just 1 hour before you go for that interview. Load shedding in that context is a contributing factor. You can only make it a determining factor when you allow it to be so. And it depends on your planning. For example, you will need to plan to make sure that load shedding doesn't get in your way of shining bright. For example, one way you can do that is iron your outfit you want to wear a day before. Prepare a day before. Make sure you have backup power a day before. So making sure that you're focusing on the things within your control, things that are from you. For example, have I read for this exam? That is what a determining factor becomes from you. Contributing factors are things outside of your control. You don't have those things within your control and you should not rest on them. So make sure as you go on, you remember this. The contributing factors, which are factors outside of you, are things that you must pay attention to and ensure that you go past them. The next key thing and attribute of a successful CyberGirl is that she keeps learning and increasing her knowledge. She understands that learning is a lifestyle. It is not an event. It is not a one-off thing. It's also important that this CyberGirl that we know that is successful majors in the majors, but does not forget the important minors. And I want to really double down on this because a lot of us go into workplaces and we forget that corporate is an extension of what you had in school in sense of cliques. If you did not know it, even in information security, when you go and work in teams that you're working in information security team or you're part of a big organization, there will be cliques. And that is a minor that you must also be mindful of, that you shouldn't forget. You shouldn't forget office politics if you work in a corporate environment where this exists. You need to be able to know how to navigate this because it's going to determine whether or not you'll be successful. I don't want us to remain in analyst roles in the next 3 years. I want us to grow. One thing that will determine whether or not you'll be able to do that is the relationships you will build. Listen, it's not just about your work. Ladies, the quality of your work alone is not enough to get through corporate stuff. You need to be able to build relationships. Your line manager, find a sponsor, okay? Get a sponsor, somebody who can then advocate for you in rooms you are not in. This will also be because you have built relationships. So please do not forget the minors. Major in the majors. I'm going to talk about some of the majors. But then you must also remember that your deliverables are important. But then relationships you also need to build within the workplace are also super important. The next key thing about this successful cyber girl is she does not forget that she's the CEO of her career. So she doesn't just rock up every day to work like every random person. No, she's not a rando, right? She makes a plan. She makes a plan for how she's going to go from analyst to CISO. In the next couple of years, there needs to be that plan. That plan will include certifications. That plan will include, gaining some leadership training, and actually putting those things into practice. That plan will include you having some sort of workplace relationships that you build outside of doing work, showing up in those work parties, ensuring that you are attending conferences, networking within the industry and outside of the industry. That plan must exist for the successful cyber girl. Another key thing about the successful cyber girl is she picks up an adjacent cybersecurity domain and she upskills to increase her chances of landing a role. Ladies, let me not bust your bubble. Some of you will be easily higher than others because of the track you've chosen. For example, if you're in critical infrastructure security and you're not taking these skills to embed in your current role, you need to begin to do some other learnings to pick up an adjacent skill or adjacent domain. If you're in cloud security, that's another thing. So ladies on the SOC track, for example, will most likely get hired faster than every other track. So I'm saying this to say, if you had a track, for example, some of you that said, oh, I wanted to be in pen testing, you guys didn't give me pen testing. This is the time to actually realize that all of the domains are interconnected and you have the base. We've given you such a solid base that you can fluidly move anywhere else. We've given you the base that enables you to move, enables you to learn more. And you can do that by yourself. You can do that by looking at job roles, the kind of job that you want to get, and then doing a gap analysis of the skills you currently have and what that job entails and gaining those skills. You could do that by investing a little more in some training platforms to get those skills. YouTube is such a university that we always leave out. YouTube, go on YouTube, Udemy, and gain those skills additional. And while you're doing this, don't forget to learn the tools for that new role that you're looking to land. And putting this together, my dear, you become such a fireball, a firecracker of value. And this is exactly what I want you all to begin to think about. What adjacent cybersecurity skill can I actually, adjacent cybersecurity domain, can I pick up skills in and actually thrive in? The next key thing about this successful cyber girl is that she is bold and she clearly articulates her value online and offline. Now, it's important to mention this because some of you still say, I am shy, I am this, I'm not able to. But after 8 months of this exposure we've given you, if you still remain that way, there's absolutely nothing I can do for you, sadly. It would have to be you who decide. You can be an introvert and be bold. Yes, go and look for introverts online that tell people, ladies that tell you that they are introverts. Read or watch videos of how they've overcome that, right? So you can be an introvert and still bold, right? So I want you all to come out and be able to boldly articulate your value. We've done something unique this year for you. On your transcript, you have the learning outcomes, you have the tools and the skills you've gained. If I don't see those things on your CV, if I see basic anything on your CV, you people that used to write basic cybersecurity skills, hey, we'll just fling that CV out of our stack. Because if we gave guys the same training we gave you people and see what they put on their LinkedIn and their CVs, but people are being humble, you're not articulating your value, and you think that employers will see your heart or see your brain. No, they see your brain and what you have through your CV and your LinkedIn. So we've done that for you. Pick that information up, put it in your own language, put it in your CV, put it out there, show up in your fullness. I think the only major things we haven't put out from your Cisco training. You take it upon yourself and show up fully your value in how your CV looks. Articulate that value very strongly because no one else will do it for you. And the next key thing I think I really want to spend some time here is about rejection. Now, it may hurt so bad, but the successful cyber girl has mastered the art of shrugging off rejection as simply what? Simply friction on her path and her journey to success. She knows that she is not going to get every shot she takes. But it doesn't stop her from taking that shot. It does not stop her from taking that shot. Because she knows that she needs to keep trying. And this is a numbers game. Landing a cyber role is a numbers game. Continue to apply. Get those rejections. Shrug it off. It's part of the journey. Part of being able to even continue to take the shots is to have the strength of character also. To tolerate the fact that in that instance, maybe you were not on top. Yes, it's the truth. That maybe you were not on top. Rejection is part of the journey. You will get a lot of them. I mentioned a form of rejection earlier on where people don't even respond to your DMs. It's part of it. So you need to wake up and know that rejection is part of your journey. The next key thing you need to do is that you need to create your own reality and demand more for yourself than anyone else can. I really spent time on this presentation, so I'm going to really rush through it and really just highlight only the highest points, the deepest points for me. She's also responsible for her visibility. Now, I want to say this very strongly because any company you go to is not responsible for your visibility. But that is the number one skill for career advancement. What is visibility in this context? And I'm going to phrase it in the question because I liked how someone I saw online said it. She put it this way, that visibility is a question like, are your contributions and your goals known by the people you work for? The people who she works for knows her contributions and her goals. They are known by the people she works for, she reports to. You want to do this through your one-on-one. You want to do this through your reports, your monthly reports, your quarterly reports. But that's only going to happen when you journal correctly. And I'm going to go on to that point. But do the people you work with know your contributions? They need to know it. They won't keep that memory for you. You need to keep it. And please don't be the lady who goes to any meeting and leaves without speaking. You must contribute something. That is part of visibility. You must be visible within your organization or you'll be passed up for promotion. Is the number one skill required for growth. I'm saying here that I don't want you all to remain analysts for forever. The only way you can guarantee promotions is your visibility. The next key thing is that she does the boring basics. And she does them at scale. And she does them consistently. Now, what are the boring basics? She shows up early. She prepares the night before, if not more. She remembers everyone's name. These things are small, but they're very important. She follows up with people quickly. A lot of you here, have sent me just one message and then gone away. You just make one message, one request, and then if you don't get any response, you go away. You are not ready. Because that person you're speaking to is super busy. They also have their own agenda. And so you must be willing to follow up early. God, I see Mary's gele. This is serious. She actually said she's going to wear a gele. She wore it. Okay. So she follows up. She follows up and she follows up quickly and she follows up multiple times. That's a boring basic. Right? She also delivers value at every interaction. These are the boring basics. And she tries not to make the same mistake more than once. Now, the things I've just described to you, 95% of people won't do them. And that's why when you do them, you will float up to the top. Now, the next thing is that she knows that cybersecurity is not a get-rich-quick scheme, The successful CyberGirl alumni knows that cybersecurity is not a get-rich-quick scheme. She knows that she might need to get a pay cut or something to be able to start off here, but it won't be forever. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. Some people may, from their first role, out-earn themselves or whatever they've ever earned. But it's something that is a journey, okay? Another key thing is that she has a hip pocket skill. And she becomes really fantastic at it, flat out fantastic at it. Now, what does it mean to have a hip pocket skill? It means that you have a skill that makes you a go-to person for a particular thing. Maybe in your team, you become that person that they go to for threat intelligence. You become that person that they go to when they are using a particular tool. Become the master of that tool. So much so that they always come to you. That hip pocket skill is your only guarantee that you float to the top from the crowd, that you do not blend in. So until you have that thing that becomes that hip pocket skill, you will be like everyone else on the team. Now imagine you pull out 10 analysts, 5 analysts, 6 analysts. You will not float to the top. So you need to stay on top. And one way of staying on top is to have that hip pocket skill. She takes her certifications very seriously. A lot of you have been sponsored and a lot of you have said, oh, I'm afraid of failing. Oh, I'm not going to be able to do this. Oh, and you didn't even take the voucher. Some of you didn't take the voucher because you are afraid. And I'm looking at you, I'm like, does this person want the same outcome that we think she wants? You cannot verify, you cannot validate your skills without certifications. So even outside of this program, aside the ones we've sponsored you on, begin to think, what next set would I be saving towards? That's the mindset to have. In this year, I want to be able to take this set. Next year, I want to be able to take this set. I'm going to save a portion of my salary to be able to take this set. That's the mindset that you should have, because it will demand that your growth will demand that. Yes, you have the skills, but they need to be validated. Another key thing is the successful CyberGirl really looks out for her cyber sisters. Yesterday, I was in a meeting with somebody in Australia. It was a CyberGirl in this cohort who has already gotten a job, and she was approached by this recruiter that said, oh, I have this opening. And she says, oh, I already have a role, so let me connect you with Miss Confidence Stavely, and so you can talk about your collaboration. There are a lot of ladies that are within my community that will need roles, and I've had that conversation. So ladies in Kenya, in Durban, ladies in Nairobi, in Durban, in Cape Town, in Joburg, ready your CVs because of this one lady that has looked out for her cyber sisters. So please remember, in your community, within your cyber sisters, if you get an opportunity, you already have one, pass it on. In fact, even when you don't already have, invite everybody else to apply for things that you applied for. That is the spirit we want in this community. Camaraderie. Okay? Look out for your cyber sisters. That way they'll also look out for you, and it goes round. The next key thing I also want to highlight, even witches practice. Even witches practice. Some of you will go to sleep right now after we have said we have graduated. Hey, you have done what Napoleon left undone, and you will not practice. That is the recipe, the perfect recipe for sweet disaster. The cyber girl that is going to be successful, she practices on her own. She's a self-starter, and she practices hard things, and she keeps going at it. Nmap that you've learned a long while ago, you come back and freshen up. Burp suit, you sharpen your skills. You find new tutorials on YouTube that help you sharpen your skills. You go to all these places that give these resources. You find them. Google is your friend. They don't have to be handed down to you. Find them, practice, and do hard things. The next key thing before I close out will be that one thing about the successful cyber girl is that she can be trusted with responsibilities. And when I mean trusted, she can be relied on by her team. When she's given something, so it's not second guessing, oh, will she do it? Will she do it on time? No, but she also maintains a task tracker. I'm going to talk about this later on by sharing a video with you on what that task tracker should have. A lot of you are not able to objectively advocate for yourself for promotions because you're not keeping track of the task you're given. You don't have that brag list around meeting your KPIs, around how your role contributes to the overall organization's growth and achieving organizational goals. That task tracker is what then helps you, okay? So I'm saying that to say you must have a brag list of accomplishments and the value add that you bring. You must have an inventory of your work what is working and what isn't working in your role. You must have all of this information so you can objectively advocate for yourself. I want to say here that there are three major things that can separate you from your dreams. One, a lack of commitment, a lack of production, and a lack of patience. I'm going to take that again. A lack of commitment, a lack of production, and a lack of patience. Now, I'm going to double down on production only. And I'm going to say that until you create produce something of value, you create this often, you may have to learn certain things. A lot of you don't have labs that you've created on your home computer. You need to be able to do that. Now, when you produce, you're able to improve, you're able to adapt quickly, you're able to learn. You're able to demonstrate your value to the world quickly, and you will find out that those things will count for you. There's a lady who needed a laptop on Twitter recently. She had been showing us her bash scripting journey, learning every day. Some of you are afraid, what do I post? This girl has been consistently posting her bash script that she's just learning. When she needed a computer, she got one in one day. The community rallied behind her because she was showing up, producing. So that's why when people tell me I don't know how to post, I can't post, I'm afraid of posting, I don't look at people. I'm like, do you know that you are an underdog right now? Do you know the advantage of being an underdog? Everybody is paying attention to the one that gives a little bit extra. Producing. The more you produce, the greater your chances of being lucky. The greater your chances of breakthrough. And I say production, commitment, and patience is the formula for creating your own luck. Do you know you can create your own luck? And this is what I'm calling you all to do. That girl created her own luck. How many of you begin to look for roles now and you're not producing? You don't have any blog anywhere that details something technical. You're only doing cybersecurity awareness posts. You're in for it, so produce. Produce something in line with the role that you're looking to get. Begin to put out blog posts of problems you're solving. Because when you start producing, you also run into problems. And you put out something. Produce. Now, to go to my last slide is just touching on knowing that it's not just setting goals that you need to do. I've set this goal. I've set that goal. No, it's not just setting goals. I won't set goals. I will set sacrifices. Something will give. The truth is that whether or not you set those sacrifices, something's always giving for another. For example, for me to be very, to gain weight, I need to, what do I need to pay for that? I need to pay convenience. If I need to lose weight, I also pay inconvenience of going out to do what? To run and do exercise. An inconvenience of not eating certain foods. So we are all paying a price. Whether we're consciously doing that or not. But the people who get the results they desire are ready to set those sacrifices. How many Netflix series would you miss on? That's a sacrifice you're willing to set. How many Twitter gossips will you miss out of and not be current on? Because you're locking down and locking in for a period of time. Set sacrifices, not just goals. And I want to just close out by saying something that I strongly believe in. Be bold. Be curious. Be what? Unstoppable. And like I always say, never ever be basic for nobody. Shine bright and let them burn. Okay? Never ever be basic for nobody. Be bold, okay? Be curious and be unstoppable. You can do everything you want to do. You can be everything you want to be. And it's all in your hand to make your luck and to go far. But definitely, I know that everybody here has been equipped to be unstoppable. Go and shine. Congratulations, class of 2024 alumni. Thank you.